Welcome, welcome. What's up, everybody? This is another edition of Tell It How It Is, No Filter. I'm your host, Voice of Reason. That is it. That is all. Subscribe to the channel, Voice of Reason, capital NF, all one word. I appreciate all those who've been with me on this journey, and to all my newcomers and my future followers and listeners and viewership. How's everyone doing? It's another productive week, I hope, and I'm here to do what I do, voice or reason. I'm done trying to convince y'all to guess what's in my cup, but I'm going to still mention it every beginning. What I'll start doing is telling on what you missed. So the last episode, I was drinking juice, just regular orange juice. Doesn't have to be a grown-up drink all the time. Oh, that's good stuff. Let's go. Sports. Judge is stuck on 60 home runs. I think they're purposely pitching fuckery so he can't get his accolade. You know what I'm saying? They do have a current 5-game winning streak, and they've clinched playoff. They're definitely going to the playoffs. Now their next feat is to clinch division. I think everyone else is doing well on the team. Stanton is coming alive. Rizzo is back from injury, and so they're going to be pretty healthy going into the playoffs, hopefully. Mets side of things, like I said, I'm more Yankee fan, of course, but I feel like the Mets have a stronger chance on that side because it's all about pitching. The argument has always been that, like, you can get the best batters in the world, and the Yankees for decades have always had great batters, but the pitching is key. You know what I'm saying? So that alone speaks for itself. So, that's a defensive side of things, which in all sports we can argue that to a degree, because in football, defense usually dominates. In basketball, defense usually dominates. So I just want you to get like a mindset, if any athletes are watching, future athletes, upcoming athletes, your defense matters, guys. It's not all about the stage and scoring the winning play, whatever sport that is. Your defense will put a hold on your opposition. They fear that a little bit more, whether they care to admit that. They fear that a little more than your offensive skills. If you can shut shit down, that's more fearful. Just a mindset that should be obvious here. But, I ain't want to go that deep. NFL, I must say, call me bandwagon jumper, call me can't make up my mind. I'm liking the Bills. That is the closest to New York. That's going to really do damage. Although the Giants started out 2-0, they have an upcoming game against the Cowboys. I'm still rooting for Russell in Denver based on my history with them due to Peyton Manning retiring from there, and I was really riding or dying with him. So I still root for Denver. I want to see what they can do, but I'm loving what Buffalo is doing. I didn't get to peep what happened. They had their game, Bills-Dolphins. The Dolphins are doing well. Shout out to my homie Maine. I know he's been a Dolphin fan forever. So, yes, we're in the thick of things NFL-wise. Basketball is around the corner. Wait on that. Speaking of basketball, damn, let me pull this closer. Boston Celtics suspends head coach Ime Udoka. Had to take a sip for that. The Ime Udoka head coach for the entire season for promiscuous behavior with a staff member. Now, Boston Celtics' success in the playoffs last year was phenomenal. Their run for a championship. It was cut short by Golden State, of course, but Boston definitely showed adversity and toughness to get to the stage. I don't think I have them getting there without this head coach. He was phenomenal. I think he's he's coached and dealt overseas, and I think that brings a different type of talent and understanding and hunger for winning. So I'm not going to sit here and say I was rooting for them at all in no nature, but I can recognize potential when I see it. So Ime Udoka was definitely a key point in them reaching the finals. So with that being said, that drew a certain attention. I don't know how long Nia Long, in her entire life as we've known her from her acting, how private she's always been with her relations. I gotta go back and check. I'm sure she's never, forefront wanted to be out there. But I don't know how good she was back then, because I don't know about any exes or anyone else she's dealt with. But nonetheless, because of all the success that Mr. Udoka has, it came out during the playoffs that his fiance is Nia Long. Now, I don't know on a scale, a survey, or majority mass, I feel Nia Long is, if not the best, like one of the hottest celebrity females, black or white, in the country. You feel me? I can't really say the world. I have to do more research. But if I had a top 5 for the U.S., especially with age being a factor, Nia Long is definitely in top 5. Now I say that to say what? Beauty is only skin deep. That's a saying that some of you millennials, I know I mentioned y'all in the last segment. Do you know what that means? Do anybody really value that statement? Beauty is only skin deep. Now, I don't know her personally, so I don't know what her flaws are, because even beauty can't save your flaws sometimes. So, the point is, even the baddest of the baddest get dealt a bad hand. Now, I don't know the story behind this. I don't know either of them personally. I don't know if they had any kind of arrangement where he was allowed to do this, so long as he didn't publicly embarrass them. And that's like a catch-22, because it's like you can have an open situation and feel like, okay, just don't have me out there looking crazy, but depending on how famous you are, how can you help that? I mean, the last resemblance of this, what is that, couples retreat with Michael Blackson and his wife, and they have an agreed open relationship, but yet on the show, she always seems hurt by the fact that he does what he do. Now, I'm no judge of how you want to live your relationship lives. My true thoughts on monogamy versus polygamy is my hands are tied. The life I lived and live can't really show any actual examples of which life is better. It's about a decision, really, because I don't know what's better for you. It depends on the individual. I know us as men have high expectations physically and high needs. So the comment I made was, this is a feminist world these days, so women's needs, wants, and rights are magnified to the T, and which kind of takes away the attention from men and what we want and need. Our services as men is to provide, is to be successful, even if not for a family, in general speaking. So when we don't perform, we're canceled, we're clowned. The pressure is on. Adversity should make us stronger as men. So, there's no pity party. And I'm not going to sit here and focus and go in on how women are treated and are, things are sort of kind of in their favor in a lot of cases, especially in this civilization and government. But it's no bashing. Like, at the end of the day, I know I've done a couple of segments where it may sound a little salty, that women may have the upper hand in a lot of things and situations, but at the end of the day, I can't knock the hustle. Nigga, if you could get away with murder, I like that show, Viola Davis. If you can get away with murder, who am I? They say never hate the player, hate the game. So I'm done with that, and I express wholeheartedly that I have nothing against feminists and women, whether I don't really like it personally. I'm not here to bash or go against that. It is what it is with that. I just keep my distance. But the point is, I'm going back to even the baddest get cheated on. Hove, Beyonce, Holly, Eric Benet. Women, I want us to come together. I'm tired of the fuckery. If you have a real solid relationship, whether the man is the breadwinner by a large margin, or whether your salaries are a little closer to each other, y'all both get to it. Y'all both 6 figures. Y'all both 50 grand, 50 grand. The man's 70 grand, you're 20 grand. The man's 20 grand, you're 70 grand. I know what these entail and how long that may or may not last. Needs are needs. You can't put a price on it. So if you are serious about your relationship and you want it to stand the test of time, needs need to be met. One more time. Needs need to be met. No pride or ego here. Life is life. Responsibility. Kids. Working. I know things aren't on schedule as they should be or could be. So I can't tell you how often or make sure every other day. No, what I'm saying is pay attention. Us men as well. Hand in hand, I'm trying to get a truce here where we pay attention to our woman's needs wholeheartedly and women pay attention to men's needs. Now, some would argue that no matter how good at that y'all become as a unit, a man, I'm only going to tackle this part of it. A man is always going to need excess play. Majority would argue. Fellas, if we with the same person, they have advice. You know where I'm going with this. The same person for however long, same physical activities, it doesn't hold. It has sorry to say, a significant chance of not holding. No matter how often you do it, no matter how not often you do it, whether you try to balance it out, unless you spice it up. Y'all are spontaneous. Y'all come together as a unit and think of ways to keep it dope. Again, kids and work get in the way of that. But, nonetheless, I'm not here to sell a dream. Fellas, Western civilization and today, I don't know, a lot of women may detach from that and make it seem like that has nothing to do in their decision making to say if they're in a relationship, they want loyalty and faithfulness. Monogamy. I don't know how many decades or centuries from now, especially on this side of the world, where women will ever see that in a mass majority, that a man indulging in extracurricular affairs is not disrespectful, does not mean that they're not wholeheartedly loyal and loving to their main woman. It's just not foreseeable in the majority. And that's fine. But what I'm saying, if we do want to argue, and I don't always got to keep the peace, so women, I'm apologizing prior because I know I'm going to say something that may sting a little. let's have an argument. Debate, not argument. Can't argue with yourself. If a female is showing behavior, let me reword that. If a female is indulging with another man, whether they actually done anything physically, whether they're just talking, what my man shout out AMS, non-sexual attention, will this affect home? Most women may say, nah, I ain't fucking nobody. Yeah, you know, I entertain a few DMs or workers, co-workers who lust after you. How intelligent, intuitive, and mentally aware is your partner? Because you may think there's no harm, no foul in that. And I get it. We can attest some of the current guy that I'm using as an example, that he has some insecurities, which we all have flaws, and we're supposed to suffocate that insecurity and flaw to be our best selves. But whatever that flaw is that we are well aware of, will join forces with our imagination. Whew, that was a deep one. Our flaws and known insecurity will join forces with our imagination. Case in point, if your lady, fellas, is doing anything that may not rub you the right way if there was a camera on her 24/7, and again, it doesn't have to be physical, but that would be the ultimate most slap in the face, right? It definitely affects the household. Again, based on how mentally strong and aware your partner is. Vice versa that. Guys fuck this up though. Ladies, if a guy is strictly physically doing him outside of the relationship, doesn't double dip, doesn't indulge and engage as if he is single, does that really affect the home? Women may say yes. Of course it does, if it's known or suspected. Let me rewind that a little bit. If it's known and shown, separately from suspected with no proof. Almost the same shit. So, if a discussion is had, which some women say, and I won't say it's all cap, it's partial cap. In the beginning, state that you're gonna do you, and things should go smoothly. That's in a perfect world. There's a timer on that. So that may well be, but the clock is ticking, buddy. Anyway, let me speed up because I didn't really want this to be the base. Bottom line, I think, fellas, ladies, if y'all can find a way to keep it spicy and good enough just between y'all two, and y'all on y'all purpose and success is y'all, you won't really have time to indulge in negative energy or emptiness to feel like you need to chase something else. Both of y'all on your purpose and trying to keep it spicy. Try to have an almost schedule to aim to please. Ladies, what you will not do on a consistent basis, someone else will. You must stay consistent. I salute the ones who could be dead tired from work, really don't have the energy, but just roll over for their man one time. Get yours. Sorry, I'm not trying to be funny. You gotta get yours off. You gotta know what your man likes a lot of, what his favorite part in that is, and try to meet that quota when you can, because he will get it done. Let's not minus the women's needs. She will get it done. The thing that's a little salty in a lot of cases for men, ladies, is that we work harder to do that extracurricular. Unless we have a certain status. If we're Drake Future, then maybe we don't work as hard. And even they get clipped. Even they get rejected. You feel me? Women don't really get that. Now, because of how more selective and social aware that they are, they may not like their choices off rip. So they'll consider that work because they don't want their easy selector. But we don't usually have an easy selector unless we are of a certain status, which we're not asking for no pity for. So just let's try to come together, communicate, be comfortable with the uncomfortable conversations. Be able to say, babe, I need some more head. And that's it. Just take a moment on that. Be mature, be grown up, have this discussion between four walls. No one else needs to know. Now, I do suggest that when men have issues to go to their boys, their brothers that they consider, right hands, but you still don't really indulge in that conversation with them either. Y'all talk that out in the privacy of y'all four walls and try to come to some middle ground. But I need y'all to get out of y'all feelings, but it's hard because women want equal shit. So if I can step out, she wants to step out. And I'm just using that as an example. I'm not being direct. That's fine. But you got to understand what the dynamic does in each case. Men, unless they're sloppy, I'm not talking about the bozos that don't know how to play the game. You shouldn't play the game if you don't know how to. And some of you got to get mature and realize that you're not good at it. If you're not good at the creep game, then don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. I'm not encouraging to do it, but I'm just saying people know what their lane is. And that's where the wires get crossed. Because even in the Mr. Udoka situation, I don't think he wanted that out there. I'm sure he probably did. And again, we don't know them. We don't know if Nia Long and him had a convo, and it was just about not getting that out there like that to make her look crazy. But now it looks crazy because it's out there. So it might have been okay. I don't know for sure. It might have been okay until that point. But when you famous, it's even harder to not. Let's just come together because a lot of relationships, is already dictated by women's needs, wants, and happiness. They will leave in a minute, fellas. They will leave in a heartbeat. What they feel for you today could vanish tomorrow. We have very little wiggle room to have such power or such say because we won't really leave a relationship for something like that because that's all, I'm sad to say that's all that really matters. If that area of physicality is taken care of, once you got past the first prerequisites that got you into the relationship, you probably could play ball for a long time. Men don't really turn the switch off the next day, but women can. So can we just come together, be aware of this, and try to do better? That's all I'm saying. If you saying it's worth salvaging the relationship. Let me switch the channel and then come back. You can only keep you afloat. Sometimes you are your biggest fan. Only allow positive distractions. Anything you do, you big you up. You say, let's not be naive now. You don't really get too cocky, but confidence is key. And I mentioned this probably 1,000 times. This is episode what? 185. Episode 185. At least 100 episodes I might have mentioned this. But I gotta keep bringing it up because I need you to remain positive and only have positive distractions from your goals and purpose. Whatever you're aiming for that's not clicking right now, that's not getting the credibility that you feel it deserves. Spin it real quick. This is me at my best. Whatever you feel that you're great at, some passion that you have so you can get out of the damn 9 to 5 or whatever it is you do that you have to provide security with, and it's a damn paycheck on a regular consistent basis, so you have to stomach the shit and you gotta eat shit sometimes. You gotta eat shit. Every time you're not gonna get steak, sometimes you gotta eat the ramens. Just stay in the best spirits possible because your energy, your outlook And your sweat and tears is the only thing that's going to get you. You see, as success becomes more popular, it's harder to stand out. Motherfuckers are successful at everything. Everything. An app is made every day. A different stock market. A different solution to another. Like, yo, the world is moving. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is no stop. You talk about the city that don't sleep, the world that don't sleep. Somebody's creating some shit every moment. So it's harder to stand out, which shows that you have to be more consistent. You will build. You will get better. You know, if you ride a bicycle every day, eventually you'll be able to pop that wheelie. You know what I'm saying? So just stay positive. I don't really want to stay on that long either. You got to stay positive, man. And if you somehow have a bad day or you have, you feel defeated for a moment, I'm telling you to only allow positive distractions. Use something to entertain you. Use something that brings you joy. Maybe in that same field that you're trying to be great at. Go to the ones who inspire you. Go over some of their material, you know what I'm saying? And just, try to use that for good energy to get you back on course. You know what I'm saying? I know it's easier said than done, but it's got to be diligent because, it's tough, it's tough to be tough. It's tough to not crack. But the longer you can have this mentality of saying, I will not fail. I am going to be so fucking annoying. Even if I got one listener, one viewer, one follower, I'm not going to stop. And again, like I said in the last pod as well, if you have kids or loved ones, you can leave the legacy behind because time don't explain itself. So whatever happens in due time, whatever happens, good or bad, you had no say in it. You could feel you did, but it really don't matter. So it's gonna come to the light, just like with everything. It comes to the light eventually. Recognition is shown. Even bull crap, even people who bullshitted their way through life, and let's say their life ends. Whatever they were doing, how little or how big, that gets displayed. So your day, your second of fame will come. Just be prepared and don't miss it. And even if you're not here physically to enjoy that, again, your kids and your loved ones should reap those benefits. Just look at it like it's generational, man. You're not doing something for you. You're doing it for a generation. This is 2022. Everything I do is for 21, 22, 22, 22. Long after I'm gone. I'm preaching it right now. One more time, man. Let's keep it a stack here. Shout out to all the alpha males. Let's jump. NLE Choppa, 19-year-old from Memphis. Memphis is real. An ex-girl, I don't know if I'm saying this right, Marissa Danae. What went from him clearly stating his standpoint from the beginning. Where is the disconnect with women that think they can change men's decisions? Men gotta want to change that decision organically. So, here's a video. Give credit where it's due. Shout out Fresh and Fit podcast. Myron and Fresh. I watched this video that I'm discussing on their platform. He made a video, NLE Choppa, saying that he's young. He's 19. And, whoever he likes or dates, he is not fully ready to commit because of how young he is. He's just getting out there. He wants to test the waters out. So as long as you can understand his standpoint, especially if he's bringing it to the table from the gate, if you accept, you accept. So now his video breaks it down more than that and, clearly gives enough information and explanation where there should be no issue. So this young lady, they become a thing, right? So I don't know where or what happened down the line that caused the disconnect again, but she winds up making a video crying and, it was an ugly ending. She couldn't take it no more. That's it. I can't fault the man. I really can't. And that's actually very mature of a 19-year-old to be able to say that. and keep it that transparent. Because I know for damn sure I wasn't nowhere that transparent at 19. I really didn't bite my tongue much, I don't think. But I probably was still a trickster. You feel me? Like I wasn't all the way a buck. Because that's hormone city, that time frame. And anything, even as men older than me and double the age of 19 who's so horny that they don't keep it a stack, they just gonna do whatever to get it. That rat on that cheese track, you feel me? So that's just unfortunate, but I don't really get her beef. Like she don't really got legs to stand on. I'm sorry. This is a case of you damned if you do it, you damned if you don't. Now, if he didn't keep it this 100, you know, they'll be ready to slay him, cancel him. Oh my God, he's such a liar. He hurt that girl, man. He will get slayed, but he's honest, and it's still a chance of them trying to cancel him. I mean, it won't. I don't see how it could. But why is this a discussion? He said what it is. He kept it a bean. And that's the problem. Women, sorry, I gotta school you. You can't change nobody. The misleading and the dark, even going back to the monogamy thing. If you meet a guy and he acts like he's gonna be just for you, and then he's not good at it, I'm not telling him to creep, but he tells you that it's just you, and he's not good at creeping, and you catch it, he's wrong. He's wrong. You gotta learn that. And guys, we gotta stand on what we say, even if it's sickening to us, even if we're sitting there miserable. I'm sorry. If you're miserable, just end it. That was a slight exaggeration. But if you're slightly unhappy because you put your foot in your mouth and said that you're going to be with only this one person when you are dying to be out there taste testing on the regular, you got to stand on your word. You got to. I mean, if you just don't care who you lose or how messy it gets, then you could do whatever you want. But it's not organic. That's my new word that I've been using lately a lot. Organic vibes. So I don't fault NLE Choppa for his actions. I actually commend him, and that is a very mature mindset going forward. And if by any chance NLE Choppa or any of his fans or affiliates grab hold of this, tell him that I said salute, brother, for keeping it a stack. And I wish more 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds, up to 30 kept it this funky, because I respect it, and I would tell him to continue to be that transparent with every female. Don't let this situation make you change up how you were, because you know what? If you stand behind something genuinely, and just because one situation ain't work out, another situation will. The thing is, with women and men, we keep changing the narrative on different folks we deal with and wonder why we can't never cross the finish line, because we keep changing the narrative. If that's your story, that's your story. Someone's gonna bite. Someone's fucking with that. So don't keep changing it thinking that it's you. We all got flaws, we all got little insecurities, but we ain't gotta change our whole story for it to sell. If that's your story, that's your story. Your flaw is your flaw. It may never change. Someone's gonna love you for that. Damn, I've been killing it today, huh? Last thing before I get out of here. So I finally tackled and watched the Murder Inc. story. Shout out to all those guys. I won't apologize for my initial feelings. My initial feelings was not to check this out because I did not agree with Irv's comments, some of Irv's comments on Drink Champs. I don't know him personally. I don't know Ashanti personally. I just didn't feel good about it. I'm not of that caliber of celebrity. Maybe what I say don't matter. Who the fuck is he? Cool. But I'm a man, and I still have a voice, so I can speak it. That was uncomfortable. Straight cheese. So it delayed me watching it. I finally get over the hump and give it a go. Speaking of shows, shout out House of the Dragon. If my Game of Thrones folks, I might have said this on the last pod, but I keep promoting it. I love shit. Game of Thrones heads, House of the Dragon. That's what's up right there. The Dahmer story is out about Jeffrey Dahmer. I gotta check that out. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that. I'm gonna get that a go. Check me out next time on that. Yo, I played myself because last pod, there was the way I ended. I was supposed to speak on some other shit. I'm gonna have to come back to that next time. Maybe I'll have enough room to put that at the end of this. Let's see. Anyway, Murder Inc. story. I've seen the first and second episode. The main artists, the main names targeted is Jay, DMX, and Ja Rule. So I remember this time frame. You know, that's my time. I love that trio. I won't say and throw shots to say we may not have the locks if this was a thing for real, but that was a powerful three. It never was able to really get an album out of those three guys. At that time would have been super fierce. I love the lock. Shout out Yonkers. So these are some of the names thrown around and some of the stories in the first and second episode. Mike Geronimo, Leo Cohen. What's that Def Jam guy, huh? The jukebox where they used to send their videos or get their videos played. Something about 99 cents for it. So Irv made a beat for Mike Geronimo. That was probably the first song displayed on the story about, you know, making it to the jukebox and getting Irv started as like this producer and, you know, somebody that people wanted to be around. You know, his energy was pretty good in the music. Then, you know, he it was a real voice for them. So Leo wanted Ja first. So when he met Irv, he said, you know, cute, cool, I see what you're doing, but I want Ja. Signs Ja. I don't know, that was kind of put on hold after that. Because to sign him first, I don't understand what took so long for the real music to come out. Anyway, Jay-Z was probably next. And then DMX. As far as the pre-steps in this. Maybe I'm off a little bit, so what? But in reality, numbers game, right? Women lie, men lie, numbers don't. Numbers-wise, DMX blew first. Out the fucking water. But it took some doing because Leo didn't want him. Irv left Def Jam and had to come back if you signed DMX. Because I think DMX went to Columbia Records first. Fast forward, speed it up. Jay's next with Reasonable Doubt. A killer. Banger. Woo. It's very hard to argue what album is like. It's Dark and Hell is Hot or Reasonable Doubt. That's a tough one. Sorry to say Vini Vici Vidi, which is Ja Rule's first album, I'm probably saying it wrong, doesn't light a candle to these. It really don't. And I'm going to show you why in a minute. So, Irv is telling the story. I'm comfortable with the story thus far because I haven't seen Ashanti yet. She's not brought up really in the first and second episode. There's about 5 episodes, I believe, that I see available. Maybe it's more. But, so the DMX, let's focus in on him. It's Dark and Hell is Hot. Sold like 7 mil. It's out of here. Reasonable Doubt, I don't remember the beginning numbers. But the argument was, okay, so Irv was going to leave Def Jam for Universal because Universal offered a $3 million advance. And Leo was like, I'll give you half that. And it was back and forth about the money. So finally, Ja album comes, Vini Vici Vidi, and it sells 3 mil. Ja is content with that. Irv is not. Irv is looking at numbers for real. He goes, Hard Knock Life sold 8 mil. DMX sold 14 mil between Dark and Hell is Hot and Flesh and Flesh, Blood of My Blood. So to sell 3 was a decline. I get the ambition and I actually like the work ethics and the no nonsense bullying, listen to me, I'm getting shit done. The statement he gave Leo, I loved it. He said, in 5 years, I'm going to be you and knock you out the box. Get you the fuck out of here. that mentality is good, man. So even if I don't like the actual individual, I don't know. I'm just saying in general, if I didn't like an individual, but that was their work ethic, and I'm in the same field, I would have to gyrate towards that. So we have a lot of input from Jay on the episodes, and Ja, of course. So I'm gonna continue watching that. If you're a music head and you're curious about the whole Murder Inc. thing, it's not bad. I actually rock with it, and yeah, that Ja Rule, Jay-Z, DMX thing would have worked. I must give flowers when they do. I gotta give that to Herb. That if they did an album, that shit would have went. That you talking at that time something really like magical between those three cats. You know what I'm saying? They all kind of different, but all hungry nonetheless. So that was dope. I'm gonna continue watching. It is a good story so far. I'm gonna try to backtrack to what I said I will come back to the female version real quick before I get out of here. Because I believe I was discussing, that says 183. Where's 184? Good thing I keep the same book. That says 180? I don't even know. Let's see. Nah, this has to be it. No, that's not it. Why don't I have the number? I may have to come back on y'all. NFL begins. Is the page ripped out? That says 183. I'm trying to get it, but if I don't, folks, we'll just double back. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I write in different parts in different ways, so we'll holler back. I'll just yeah, it's not this one. I remember now why I don't have it. Right. I used a whole different thing last time. So, let's have a successful week. Until I see you the next time. Remember, stay positive. Only have positive distractions. Try to stay real focused on your purpose. Try to tuck your flaws and insecurities. You can't say it enough. You know what I'm saying? We all have it. But let's try to really grab a hold of that and still show that we're diligent and aggressive and consistent. Big word, consistent. Remember, what you're doing is generational. It's not for you to enjoy per se. It's for your kids. Woo! Is that a bar? Your kids. That's big. So until the next time, this is Voice of Reason NF. Tell it how it is, no filter. Episode 185. I hope y'all enjoyed. What am I drinking, man? What is in this cup? Is anyone ever going to take a shot at that? You know what I mean? So, leave it in the comments. Subscribe to the channel. Voice of Reason, capital NF. And I'll holla. Stay safe.